5 Iranian soldiers dead in a surprise militant attack near the Pakistan border. But what's really going on here? Is this just another border skirmish, or is something bigger at play? Stick around, because you won't believe the full story behind this deadly strike. Okay, so here's what you need to know. Iran and Pakistan share a massive border, about 900 kilometers of rugged terrain that's not only difficult to patrol, but also a hotspot for smuggling, trafficking, and unfortunately, militant activity. You could call this area a wild west of cross-border conflict. But this latest attack, well, it's raised some serious questions. On one hand, these two countries have been friends for years, with a shared history, trade, and even some common political interests. But the relationship gets much trickier when you dive into the border regions, especially in areas like Balochistan. So let's break it down. The attackers are believed to be militants from a group called Jundala. Sound like the name of a bad guy in an action movie, right? Well, they're anything but fictional. Jundala, which literally translates to Soldiers of God, is a militant group operating along the border with the goal of independence for the Baloch people, an ethnic group spread across both Pakistan and Iran. And here's the kicker. While this may sound like a fight for freedom, it's actually a messy and dangerous cocktail of ethnic tensions, political power struggles, and even some outside support. These militants don't just fight for one country. They're after control of an entire region, one that's rich in natural resources but lacking in stability. So why did they attack now? The latest assault on Iranian security forces isn't just some random act of violence. It was strategic, well-coordinated, and designed to send a message to both Iran and Pakistan. We're not backing down. It also highlights the failure of border security, where militants can cross freely, often outpacing local security forces. Iran, of course, isn't taking this lightly. They've already responded with airstrikes, trying to hit back at what they call militant sanctuaries across the border in Pakistan. But it's a bit of a delicate dance. Pakistan, caught between maintaining peace at home and not wanting to be dragged into a deeper conflict, is now facing mounting pressure from both sides. So, what does this mean for the future? Are we about to see more cross-border attacks and retaliations? Will Pakistan and Iran get caught in a full-blown military conflict, or can they find a way to cooperate and keep the peace? But here's where it gets even crazier. The region is not only a war zone for militants, but also a strategic choke point for global powers, especially when you think about things like oil and energy routes. And let's face it, the bigger the stakes, the more people want to get involved, right? Now, I've got to ask you, what do you think? Is this just another border flare-up that'll be forgotten in a few weeks? Or are we witnessing the beginning of something far larger? Could this escalate into a full-blown conflict? Or is it just more noise in an already chaotic region? Drop your thoughts below. I mean, don't just sit there like a bystander watching this unfold like it's an episode of your favorite Netflix drama. Tell us what you think. Does Iran have the right to strike back? Or is Pakistan caught in the middle of a mess it didn't create? And hey, don't forget to like this video if you found it interesting. Or dislike it if you think I'm all wrong. Either way, I want to know what's on your mind. Plus, if you want to stay updated on all things border conflict and global tensions, because trust me, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on our future deep dives into stories that matter. Let's keep this conversation going. What will happen next? You tell me.